was break. And then they invited me to all of this shit that they're gonna do, but I'm just still not really with it. I'm so hardcore to this. This is all I was doing. This was my life. Black books, markers, trains. I had nothing to do with that. Hardcore writing. Then they invited me to this thing that they were doing, and they said it's a show. And again, I'm like, a show of what? And like, what are you gonna do in the show? And then they said break, and I laughed my ass off. I had no idea this shit was real. I get to the show, they had the same caps, they had shirts that said Rock City Group. The same group, New York City Mob Rock City. And they were doing a show. People were paying to see these kids break. And there was a DJ, there was graph everywhere, like they graphed up this little place downtown. And then Rocksteady divided into two crews, and they started battling each other as the show. And my mind was blown. The moves changed, the moves were more advanced than from when I was breaking. I saw Young Crazy Legs, Ken Swift, Mr. Freeze, Frosty Freeze, Take One, Rip 7, Tide Fly. Like these are cats that I knew from graffiti. A lot of them. And they're breaking. And I was like, oh shit. I got excited. Like I was so fucking, I couldn't believe it. That people from the downtown area were paying to see this. And that's strange because I told you my background. My background was so fucking raw. We didn't know we had talent. We thought this was something to do to pass time. No different than tagging or building a go-kart, cookie sets. But I didn't know it was an art form. I didn't know it was going to be something big. You know, there's probably like 30, 40 people there watching this crew break. And I said, well, I got to be down with this. You know, then I realized something was happening, something strange. You know, I go back home, I try to practice some of the new moves, and I'm not able to do them anymore. My breaking was very old. And I said, but now I got to get this crew to think that I'm serious. So that summer, I saw an episode of Soul Train, and I saw the group do this dance. And when I went to the street, everyone in New York was talking about this dance. And the group was called Electric Boogaloo, but we didn't know that. We didn't have a VHS to rewind it. We didn't even know what the moves looked like. All we heard was Electric Boogie. And the first moves from Electric Boogie is not a wave, it wasn't a tick, it wasn't, it was this. It was a New York move. This is a New York shuffle. We were doing like this. This is Electric Boogie. When people talk about Electric Boogie, and then they start going like this, I'm like, that's not Electric Boogie, that came later. Electric Boogie's this. It was us trying to do the Electric Boogie stuff, but we didn't know what they were doing. We thought they looked crippled. So we called it crippled style. We were going like this. You know, and we were making up crazy angles, looking retarded. That's real Electric Boogie. It was a hip-hop version of pop. And they did it to, you know, the Barcades, but we did it to James Brown. So the rhythm looked different. And then I practiced that. All my boys did. Went back to the park, the Rocksteady, and blew them away. They were like, this motherfucker's crazy. I got into this crew called Rocksteady, and that was it. And from that point on, we were all still part of the street, doing stick-ups, and then going downtown, doing shows at lavish clubs. We're like 13, 14, 15-year-old kids at Studio 54. And there's celebrities, and there's cocaine, and more celebrities, and more cocaine. And we're little motherfucking thuggish kids. And it was amazing because, you know, we took a train from the pits of hell, and now we're in this big club that we heard about. And they would say, yo, y'all gotta stay in this room. You're not allowed to go in that club. They didn't give a shit. And they would put a security on the door. Everybody's getting smoked out. Security guard got smoked out, and then we're in the club. Oh man. I can't even say anything. We're like little kids running around this huge fucking disco that everybody's hanging out, and they're treating us like little media darlings, and women are throwing themselves at us just because we did a little thing on the floor. So they would bring us to all these $20. Like, shit, hell yeah. That was a lot. You know, I never got $20 for breaking. I got $20 for selling drugs, but never. All I did was dance. And again, you know, we didn't know that this was going to be a big deal. And the thing just blew up. They made clubs specifically for this thing. They didn't have a name for it. Most of the words that we said was rocking or jamming. That's my part. Part of my life. What you doing? Who you with? So, you know, there wasn't really a name. Next thing you know, I'm going to my block and people are looking for me. Camera crews, people with cameras. Now you gotta remember where I come from. Motherfuckers had Polaroids. Motherfuckers just showing up with cameras, right? And they're looking for this dancer, Wiggles, which I got the name Wiggles from the crew that I was in, TC5. I was in this famous graffiti crew, I wrote Rec, but the leader of the crew, his side name was Mr. Wiggles. He gave it to me and pushed me to dance too. They would come to the block with these big ass cameras, and the only thing in the people's mind is how to get the camera. It was the funniest shit. They would show up and shit, and they have a camera here. You know what Mr. Wiggles is? Or, you know, whoever they're looking for, they put the camera down, they talk to somebody, they turn around, and that's it. Gone. And then you will get people like the dealers who be like, yo, Stevie, man, tell them not to point that fucking camera at me, I'm gonna smack them. You know, pointing the cameras at dealers, but yo, it was funny. It was the weirdest, funniest shit seeing these people come down to the hood to film. And it was amazing. I'm like, they're coming here for us.